So Matt, you pretty excited about pre-ordering those battle passes, I see.
I am, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. The one thing that I needed in my life was not only battle passes, but the ability to actually pre-order them and to get a pre-order bonus from the looks of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you get some of the battle pass items immediately if you pre-order the battle pass. Um, I don't think anyone was surprised to see this coming, but this is a new addition to Battlefield.
I was a little surprised. I won't lie. I didn't think we were going to see pre-order bonuses or pre-order battle passes. At least for me, it wasn't on my bingo card.
Fair enough. I guess I would say in the gaming sphere, that's not surprising. Maybe on the Battlefield front, I'm a little more surprised. But man, they got to make their money. They got to make their money if they're going to keep cranking out these eventually 3 maps per season, right? I mean, that's what we're going for. So
at the end of the day, for those that are not aware, Battlefield allows you to now pre-order a battle pass for season 3, which is
for a bonus.
For a bonus, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, it doesn't matter. Like, if you're gonna get the battle pass anyways, like, who cares? It's doesn't change anything, but it is just another thing added to the long list of other microtransactions that have been added to the gaming sphere.
Yeah. It's not. Yeah. It's people are annoyed, but I think grand scheme of things, it doesn't change much.
It doesn't change anything.
It's just sort of like, okay, they're monetizing whatever they could possibly monetize, It's like a mobile game, right? Everything in the game eventually just becomes for sale. You're like, my avatar is for sale, but all the border for my stat window is for sale. It's like, you notice on Discord now how there's all these ways to buy tokens for the way that your name looks and new fonts for your name and stuff like that. They're just trying to make money off of it, and it's for Discord. I can see why, because I don't think they have a revenue stream, dude. I think Microsoft tried to buy them for
they're selling data, I'm imagining.
Yeah. Oh, did you see that thing a while back where everybody's Discord server got this official bot that just showed up?
No.
And then it was a data scrubbing bot, and everybody was like, what the heck is this? And then Discord was like, sorry, our bad, we'll get rid of the bot.
Sorry, that wasn't supposed to be, you guys weren't supposed to know that was there.
We're like, wait, you mean it's not okay that we scrub all the data and information from your private Discord server? Okay, fine. I don't know
We're sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. We'll be better.
It is sort of weird. The whole tech industry is give us millions and millions of dollars to make this cool program and thing. Tons of people will use it, and we'll worry about the revenue stream later. You're like,
and that usually always breaks whatever they've created. It always makes it worse every time.
Mm-hmm. I mean, and that is sort of what the big scare with the AI bubble is that none of it's profitable yet. And when those companies have to turn on the profit switch, the whole infrastructure is going to flip on its head, because people are going to be like, isn't AI great? It's so cheap and available. And then it'll not be cheap and available.
Yeah.
But then we'll be addicted to it. It'll be too late, and they'll have us.
Well, some at least.
Yeah.
I still don't use AI. I've never gone to Chat GPT. I mean, I use Google, and then it automatically just shows you the AI result. So I guess technically I use that sometimes, but.
I mean, you do streaming and stuff, so there's not a huge need for it in what you do,
Yeah.
I use it for cooking sometimes, where I'm just like, here's the items in my fridge. What would be a good recipe?
Use for it. That's a fantastic use for it.
I would argue that's the best
uses for it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because it takes something that a normal person wouldn't really be able to do, and then it's like, oh yeah, here's a long list or a bunch of ideas that you could use those ingredients for. That's the perfect use case. Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Another tuna casserole, baby.
Oh baby.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I was excited to buy a Steam controller today, Matt. I don't know if you were waiting for that one.
I was not, but yes.
Yeah, I put it. So it had a wish list button on the Steam controller page. I clicked it. So I was like, cool, make sure to notify me when that goes out for sale. I checked back this afternoon thinking it should have been released, right? Completely sold out, no notification whatsoever.
Good.
it's great that people
You
are
don't deserve
excited
it,
about.
honestly.
I know, that's fair enough. I had the first Steam controller, and then like I just gave it to somebody because I wasn't using it. And now I'm like, oh man, that thing would have been like a collectible or something now.
Yeah. Kind of.
I know, kind of. But so the new one looks really cool. It's got those magnetic joysticks, so no more stick drift. It's got trackpads and joysticks. It's got the what do you call the little gripper pulleys underneath the controller? That's some of the like
triggers, like the back triggers.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. So it's got extra triggers. It looks cool, man. I want one, and I'm very annoyed that it's sold out. Now, granted, it is.
Unfortunately, you weren't a scalper, and you didn't have a bunch of bots trying to comb and grab every single one of them.
You think that's what happened?
Oh yeah, there's already apparently like on eBay a bunch of them being sold for like $250 now. So yeah, 100%.
Man, how are companies going to stop that from happening?
I don't know. I don't know if there's a way to be able to do it in a digital age like this, because like if it's a bot and it's just.
Yeah.
It just thinks that if there's a way to be able to verify, who you are, but
what would be cool? Because so there are laws against scalping in like the United States. It would be cool if they worked with resale sites like eBay, for example, and just they're like, look, if this product shows up on eBay like 2 seconds after we put it on sale, then obviously somebody is scalping it. Can you not let people sell the Steam controller on eBay for like a month or something, just to ensure that they're not scalping? I feel like there's some easy ways to try and slow down or like make it harder to profit off of scalping, because obviously it's been a huge issue for hardware stuff. I mean, the great GPU shortage before, from the crypto boom and all that stuff, and now with the shortage of it because of all the RAM and stuff going to AI data centers, there's still people probably able to scalp and like even push those prices further.
The funny thing is the convenience of online has made things great, but in this case, a lot of times to get around scalping is you need to go to a physical store and buy it there, because then they can actually verify that it's like, oh, you're a guy, you're a person, you're not you're not a bunch of bots, right? So
and also it's like stores they got a policy on that stuff too, where if somebody comes in, they're like, I'm going to buy 50 of these, and they're like, no, you're not. You can buy 2.
You can buy 2.
Yeah, it's like limit 2 per customer. You see those signs all the time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't think you could buy the Steam controller in a store. Like I don't think it showed up in a store.
Yeah, that I don't know if you could.
But anyway, I didn't get one, so now I just gotta wait.
That's too bad.
I just gotta wait. I'll survive. I got my Xbox controller, but you know what? The trigger's getting sticky on this one. I'm gonna have to like take it apart and figure out why. I'm in need. Yeah, so what have you... I've been playing some stuff, but I see you've been playing some stuff this week, man.
What would you like to talk about? This week I played many things. I tried out the Arc Raiders map. I tried Saros and Diablo 4. Those were kind of my...
Highlight. Let's start off with your highlight, dude.
Well, for me, the highlight was all of them, honestly. They were all really fun. But I'll go with Saros because that one, I think, was my favorite out of the bunch. Did you play Returnal at all?
No, but I watched a lot of videos on it.
Okay, so it's a lot like Returnal. I think Returnal was more of a roguelike. This is more of a roguelite, which if you're not aware of the definition or the difference, like means that every single run is basically a new run. There's no upgrades. You don't get any power between runs. It's been a while since I played Returnal, so I could be wrong about that. But pretty much you go in fresh every single time. Light is the lighter version of the thing, and it's easier in the sense that it's like a Hades, where there is a meta progression where you get a currency or something, and you can use that currency or some upgrade to make every run after the fact a little bit easier, right? Maybe you have more HP, maybe you do a little bit more damage, maybe you get some upgrades, yada, yada, yada. And so it's more like that. So you go through, you kill a bunch of enemies, balls are flying at your face at a mile, 1,000 miles an hour. And
we're talking about the game still, Matt?
Still talking about the game. Still talking about the game.
Got it.
There's a lot of balls. It's literally a bullet hell, right?
Yeah.
But third person action shooter, right?
Yep.
The highlight would definitely be the gameplay. Gameplay is very fun. And also, I would say the world building. The story is okay, but the world is like super, super interesting. You are on the entire theme of it is you are on a ship, or you came from a ship Echelon 4, and you come to a planet because communication has gone out, and the previous ships that arrived, who were going to be colonists and mining this leucinite, which is like this really rare material, what have you. It's going to revolutionize the industry. Yeah, basically like unobtainium. They just went quiet, and we're like, why are they not talking to us anymore? So you go there and you realize there's nobody there, and you're like, what happened? And so you got to discover what's going on. And I gotta say, it doesn't have like the same twist as Returnal had, where in Returnal, like you beat the game and then something happens and you're like, oh my God, this is great. Like there's a really cool moment in Returnal when you're like, everyone knows the moment, right? And in this, I guessed the twist and didn't make it bad when it happened. I was like, holy cow, this is actually like a really cool idea. So really liking the world building, and overall just a really satisfying action roguelite that that has been a lot of fun. Cool.
And can you massively change the way you approach it with the upgrades, or the way that the things you unlock along the way?
Yeah. So if I was going to give it a critique, you begin with like going around and you get these artifacts. And these artifacts will give you buffs. And some of them will have different perks. Like if you kill an enemy, you'll get a little bit of your health back. Some of them will maybe increase the power that you get, and you can use that power to use like your big ultimate ability and everything. And they kind of change the way you play. But if I was going to make a critique, there isn't much of a difference between runs. In Hades, you have different weapons and you can get different builds. There's the different gods, and you can like mix and match, and you can basically create you become super powerful through that, right? And you can become very powerful in this, but not necessarily because of the choices you've made along the way. Really, the biggest thing by the end is like what weapon you choose, and that will change the way you play. But it's not like you've created some crazy build or anything like that. So if I was going to make a critique, it would be that the artifacts by the end feel really unsubstantial. And really, it just comes down to, oh, I got a cool weapon and I swapped to that. And neat. And because it's not like you start a run where you're using a weapon all the way through like you would in other games. You are constantly like, you can swap between multiple throughout a round. And so you're just kind of bouncing. And yeah, it's fine. But if I was going to want to see something more, it would have been more build diversity and more of a reason to try different strategies and different tactics in that respect.
Fair enough. It seems like the lighter weight roguelites experiment more with that, because they can kind of do it quicker and have more fun with it. And then all of a sudden you get something like Mega Bonk, where you're just going crazy with all the crazy stuff you can do. And in this one that has a lot more world design and art design, and you're supposed to approach things in a specific way. They're like, oh, we can't let people get too crazy because then it'll just break everything, you know?
Yeah. Which I would agree.
Yeah.
Some of the bosses are absolutely incredible. They're very, very cool looking. Overall, I really like it. I think it's a good experience.
Cool.
I've been very happy with it.
Yeah.
Even if I do have my critiques.
Okay. Sick. I mean, the visuals look really nice as well. Cool.
I haven't beaten it yet, though. I think I'm on the final boss. So maybe my opinion will change. Maybe there's something after that where I'm just like, holy cow, this is
How many
crazy.
times have you tried the final boss?
Once so far, just a single time. There's some interesting design decisions. I feel like the game doesn't. So the game can be really hard. Where in like Returnal, you start from the very beginning. You have to go through the entire game all the way to the end, which can take hours. Yeah. And in this, it forces you to stop at times. And so the power that you built up with the first level towards the second level, it's like, well, now you got to start over again. And so you can straight go back to that second level. But when you do that, your power level is really low. And so you can kind of get dunked on over and over and over again. But then if you go back to the first level, run through that, clear it, the game feels like incentivizes you to do that because you get these upgrades and there was some walls and stuff that you couldn't get through, and some encounters that you couldn't do because you didn't have that upgrade yet. So you can go back to the first level, get powered up, go to the second level, and then try to kill the boss. And now you're way more powerful because of that. But the process of doing that is like 40 minutes a piece. So if you then die on that boss, you just spent 2 hours getting there, and it's like, do I want to do that again? Like,
dang.
So there can be some time commitment to this game where, like, if you fail, you're like, well, that kind of hurts. That's kind of, a kick in the shins there. But you also get a lot of currency out of it, and you can use that currency to make yourself more powerful. And so, like, I never felt like I was hitting a wall where it was like, this is too challenging or this is too much, right?
Yeah. It's interesting because we're sort of in the roguelite era where everything's some type of roguelite nowadays. There's just so many of them.
It allows for replayability.
Yeah. And the ones that a lot of them are like, okay, you can beat the game in 30 minutes if you know what you're doing. But like now we're seeing these longer format ones, and that's also cool. But also I find myself when playing a roguelite that is that long and you lose, you're like, all right, I'm going to take a break. Now's a good time to take a break,
Yeah, it's like, all right, I'm done.
Yeah. You're like, okay, so do I want to do exactly what I just did again for 2 hours, or do I want to chill and do something else?
You run that risk because the regular enemies in this game aren't like, they're challenging, but they're not like insane. And so if you then die to the boss, you're like, dude, I don't want to take 40 minutes. Like it was an enjoyable 40 minutes the first 3 times I did it. Yeah. It's not going to be fun the fifth, fourth or fifth time, right? So
yeah, and I feel like build variety is what makes those repeat runs more fun. So if you're saying that the build variety is a little lacking, that could be another thing.
It really just comes down to the weapon that you're using, unfortunately. You have your weapon, and your power weapon is really where strategy comes into play, and not really like the artifacts, or at least I didn't really find the artifacts to be that satisfying or game changing.
Gotcha. I last podcast, after the podcast ended and we were chatting a little bit, I was telling you that I was playing Against the Storm, which is a roguelite RTS, which is also a very long format.
Well, more
game.
city builder, right?
City builder. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. City builder.
I wouldn't really call it an RTS. It's
You're right. And I was kind of on the fence with it at first because it is, I would argue that it's got a steep learning curve to like getting into understanding some of the nuance of the game. I sort of got hooked on it and I've been trying to get through, but I have the same thing where it's like some of these runs take a long time, like a really long time. And then you get to a point and then it's like, you're done. You got to start over now. And I'm like, okay, well, I think I'm going to stop playing now because that was a really long run. That was a lot. Yeah. So it's an interesting thing. And I've definitely warmed up to Against the Storm. I want to progress. I want to see where it goes. I want to get further in it. So I get it. But it is a cool concept. It's just, when you're like, what if we did a city builder as a roguelite? Well, you're like, okay, now we're committing like hours and hours and hours and hours to every single run because you're building a city every single time you progress.
Yeah.
So
it won't be for everybody.
Yeah, for sure. And especially if you want to be that city builder guy that like builds one super cool mega city. Do you remember when SimCity came out? The latest one that
I was super excited. We were playing it together and it was terrible.
Yeah. Well, I remember that because I mean, that must have been, when did that game come out? Like 2013 or 14?
Oh yeah,
it's
probably around there. Yeah, because I was trying to find a job and I was failing at it.
Oh my gosh.
That was when I like became, it was when I started focusing more on YouTube and stuff. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, the early days. Yeah. So I remember you, me, Brandon, maybe somebody else decided to make a group city together in SimCity. And we're like, this will be so cool. We'll all build our own cities and we'll all like trade amongst each other. And then none of it worked at all because the servers were all screwed. And I don't even know if they ever got that intercity trading stuff working reliably anyway. But
it was terrible.
Yeah. City builders. Yeah. But they've made 1 billion city builders. Do you know, like, so RTS and city builders and stuff like that are, I think the Steam algorithm really favors games like that because Steam looks at playtime and like play sessions. And so RTSs, city builders, roguelites, you're not going to just sit down for 30 minutes and play one of those. You're committing.
Especially not a city builder.
Yeah, yeah. So then Steam goes, oh, well, the people who bought this game played it a ton. So it gets pushed up the algorithm. So I don't know, just learning more about the Steam algorithm and all that stuff, because they've got an algorithm just like YouTube and just like Twitch has an algorithm, right?
Right.
So you're like, well, what do they look for? Playtime, player engagement. Guess what does really well in those genres? Roguelites.
Guess you're just going to have to make a different game level.
I know. Yep. Spaceship builder. That's what it is. Building a spaceship. Which, I mean, kind of, it's ARPG, right? You're building your character in an action RPG.
Yeah.
You're getting better ship engines and laser guns and armor and all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, I've been so we got some big releases this month. I know you played some more stuff, which I do want to talk about, but I think you can see my list of games on there. We got Mixtape, Directive 8020, Subnautica, which is coming out on the 14th.
Do you think Subnautica 2 is actually going to be like decent when it comes out? Man, the amount of problems that they've been having, at least
it better be amazing, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. Because there was the whole controversy with Crafton. Was it Crafton?
Yep.
It was Crafton.
Yep.
And it's like, well, is it done? Like, are they funding it anymore? And then they're like, oh no, it's still coming out. It's like, wait, what
so
is
it's
even
coming out
right
in
now?
early access.
Right.
Granted, a game of this high profile with this much money behind it, you can't release an early access game like an indie studio releases an early access game. It's got to be much more polished. Like, you can not have some of your end game content, but you can't be missing big features or have a super buggy launch. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully it's really good. Obviously people want another great Subnautica game, but yeah, the drama surrounding this. And do you remember even before all that weird, like, hey, they fired all the lead developers to get around their bonus thing, and then they won in court. Now they're reinstated. But even before that, they did that AI generated trailer. Do you remember that? Was that? Oh, that wasn't Subnautica. That was something else. I think that was
Ark.
Yeah, you're right. That was Ark. It was because it was underwater and had like all these squids and stuff.
It was bad.
Yeah. That was like the early days when they just figured out how to do video with AI. And they're like, check it out. We made a game trailer.
Some of these companies using AI. There was this terrible AI. I know I'm going off topic here, but there was this advertisement for this terrible mobile game. And it takes like a woman and like this monster and combines them into a hot woman monster, right? And one of them is literally a frozen like frost monster xenomorph. And it's just a xenomorph like from Alien.
Yeah.
It looks exactly like it. I'm like, how does this get through? What do you mean? Like, this is literally just a lawsuit waiting to happen.
Yeah.
Like, how does this go through?
Yeah.
And of course it's on YouTube.
It's wild. The plagiarism is nuts.
Yeah.
It's only going to get worse. I'm really worried about, honestly, I think what's could happen is somebody's going to come out with a game, work a long time on it. It'll be a cool game, big hit. And somebody else is just going to take AI and be like, copy that game, swap out a few assets, now re-release it on Steam or whatever. I think that's going to get much easier. And I'm kind of afraid of all that because it's like the ultimate theft tool, essentially. I mean, that's how it has been used in the art world, right? Is like,
I mean,
it's mass learning and mass ingesting all this stuff. And actually, there was something I wanted to talk about today that's totally related to this. So, I
just want to point out real fast.
Yeah.
I have a suspicion, that AI thing, that AI advertisement. I'm almost positive that they probably put a prompt like frozen or frost alien.
Yeah.
And the prompt was like, oh, like the alien from Alien. And so it just made a frozen frost alien. Like, it's
for sure
so blatant about it. Okay.
Yeah.
So I just thought it was really funny and also depressing.
Yeah. So totally terrible. Totally terrible. So, this is sort of on the idea of AI stealing everything from everybody in mass and then being like, don't get it from other people, get it from us. So I don't want to disclose who this person was, but I heard from somebody who has a website that
it was Jerry.
It's Jerry's website, jerry.com. He was telling me how like his web traffic was going up, and he's like, oh wow, this is kind of like an old website that's, I guess maybe referenced in like articles about stuff every now and then, but it's not like a hot website. It just sort of exists. But the traffic was going up and up and up, and like when you host a website, your bill can go up based on the amount of traffic, right? You're like, but it's usually worth it, because if you got 50,000 people or 100,000 people visiting your website, they're doing that because they're buying a product or subscribing or doing whatever your website is there to do, right? So you're making the money for it, so it's fine to pay the web fees. But all of a sudden, his web fees are going up, going way up. Oh my gosh, his traffic's crazy. What's blowing up his website? AI data scrubbing. So when you're online and you're like, what's the best strategy to beat Saros or whatever? And Jerry's website has a really good strategy guide on Saros. The AI data scrubs his website, neatly takes all that information, puts it there and packages it for you. Now he's paying the bill for this high web traffic, making zero money off of any ad revenue or sales or whatever the business is designed for. So I think this is like a much bigger problem, where AI is just saying, we're just going to take all that information you put out there and deliver it to people, and we'll make the money, and you will pay a web fee. And all of a sudden, I think they're just going to cannibalize all these websites that are going to have to be taken down or try and prevent AI from data scrubbing them, which will be impossible ultimately. It's sort of like they're just moving forward without a really good plan for sustainability of this. It's going to cannibalize all of this information. And it's kind of like the art stuff too, right? It's like you cannibalize all these art jobs. Artists stop putting their artwork online. Now there's no more art there. Now people aren't able to progress AI image gen models because artists aren't going to be employed or putting their artwork online. Like, it's cannibalistic in nature. It's going to be a disaster, man.
Yeah. You're literally describing what people have been pointing out for a while now.
Yeah, but just in other forms to a degree, right?
Right. No, I meant just like in general, because like if the whole point of like being able to put stuff online and to make a career out of it is that you get revenue from it, right? That's the only way you can feasibly do it. And so if you are someone who makes guides or you do recipes or whatever it is, at some point, if there's no incentive financially because everyone's just using AI to steal from whatever that original source was. Well, what happens when all the sources are gone? Like, is the AI just going to start making stuff up about whatever it is? Like, it's going to have nothing to reference, and so if it's got nothing to reference, it's worthless.
Yeah, it's going to kill the internet to a degree.
Right.
It's freaking terrible. It's like even my little recipe thing, right? If I go, hey, what can I make with this recipe? If it's sourcing a recipe website and giving me that information, and that website gets no ad revenue or anything out of it, they're out of business. It's freaky. And I don't know what the solution is, because the internet wasn't designed for data scrubbing. Ultimately, it wasn't designed to exist with billions of data scrubbers doing all the websites. It was meant for people to go to the websites and interact. So we're kind of going down a weird path here. The other AI story that probably won't come as that big of a surprise, but I forget his name, but a top guy at Google was talking about how major game studios are using AI in huge ways, and they're just not disclosing it. So,
good.
I find this, so like, Arc Raiders gets a lot of heat because they're a pretty sizable studio that used AI, and they admitted to it, and they talked about how they used it and stuff. Apparently many other studios are using it in similar ways or more extensively and not disclosing that because they don't want the backlash, right? There's a huge amount of backlash. But we're entering this weird crossover phase where they almost can't afford not to, or if they don't use it, the amount that the size of their game, the scope of their game, what they're able to do with their budget and dev team will be vastly inferior to their competitors. So they're like, we have to do it. And they're too afraid to disclose it because of the backlash. So they're trying to stay competitive and also not disclose. And so basically just somebody very high up at Google was like, most big studios are using it and many are not disclosing. And I think that's shady. Yeah. And I think that's only going to get more extreme, and it'll just eventually get to a point where, like, I don't know, maybe some big story will come out and some studio will get like burned, and then all the studios will have to come out and just say that they're using it, and then basically that'll be the new world. Is every studio is just like, yeah, we're using AI. Sorry, we can't not use AI, but
in some capacity, yeah.
Yeah. So I think we're heading down that path very quickly. Basically, I think that's already happening. They're just not disclosing it. So we think that games are still being developed without AI, but they are, I think, predominantly being developed by AI. And on the coding side, they said that more code was being written this year by AI, far more code than people.
Yeah, I've heard that AI is actually very good at writing code. Yep. So it wouldn't surprise me.
And that's going to cross over into many other mediums soon enough, right?
Right.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy. But the other thing was that, like, this Google exec was saying, your favorite games, like the games that get the top marks, people love the most, all that stuff is using AI way more extensively than you think already.
Okay.
Which is interesting, you know.
I guess it depends on how it's being used.
Yeah. Well, just because I'm so close to like people who use it as a tool all the time, like artists are wanting to use. So there's a big backlash in the art community, but the other side of that is artists who are good at making art, taking AI and using it to like massively accelerate their workflow. And so when you have an artist using it and making art that they approve of, or using their art as a template to like then expand off of, you get AI generated stuff that you or I would not recognize as being AI slop, right? Because it's using their template, what they set up for it.
Well, it's using their template and they're probably going through and touching it up.
Yeah. So I think that's pretty extensive in the industry right now. And that's stuff that you and I wouldn't recognize, right? Because it would look good, and it does look good, right?
Right.
So yeah, I think that's going on a lot behind the scenes. I wouldn't be surprised if a huge amount of the games you're playing right now have like lots of AI gen assets in them that...
I mean, it's possible. I mean, if you're saying they're not disclosing it, then there's no way for me to disprove that. But
right. Well, yeah, or any of us. Well, and also if you have like because they have ways of detecting it, but if you have AI build something and then you have an artist touch it up or whatever, and then it becomes a weird hybrid of stuff, like, do the detection systems work anymore? You know? I don't know.
A whole new age.
I'm so excited for it. Tell me about...
Speaking of whole new ages, did you check out the new Arc Raiders update?
Yeah, I did.
What'd you think?
Well, this is kind of how I see it, is like, first of all, some of the updates are good. Like, you know, they made improvements to general gameplay stuff. Don't know if I love the durability of stuff going down faster now.
Yeah, that was a bit strange.
I like the idea of making the higher end weapons more usable and
desirable,
but there's a little too much stick and not enough carrot, in my opinion.
Yeah, a lot of stick. It's like, oh, you're using that weapon you like a lot? Well, it's going to be a little bit more painful now.
Yeah.
Like, okay, like that seems like a very bizarre way of handling it, but sure, fair enough.
Yeah. So I don't totally agree with that approach to balancing it out, because it's already, I don't like games that are overly maintenance driven with their mechanics. We're like, oh, you got to repair this now. You got to repair that.
Yeah,
like, I hate this. I let me use the thing.
Yeah.
So didn't love that, but the new map it's tough because we saw all that amazing concept art for what the new map was going to be.
Looked like this giant sprawling beach
it looked
thing
epic, basically.
Yeah, it looked really cool.
It looked like it was going to be the coolest map in the whole game, by far. And then what we got was not, I wouldn't call it a bad map. Like I think it's a competent, decent map.
It's okay. Yeah.
But it's small and it feels small anyway. And it doesn't quite have that big grandiose adventure vibe.
It also doesn't really feel as lived in. I feel like it doesn't have that sauce that the other ones have. At least for me, there's something about the other maps that just really there's something that just feels right. And this kind of feels a bit more haphazard, where it's like, oh yeah, there's a shipping container dock there, and then there's a hotel, and then there's it just doesn't scream the same quality as like Bluegate or Spaceport or any of those others,
or
right?
Dam is like my favorite. Like I know it's sort of the newbie map, but I think stylistically it's one of the best ones in the game. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of weird because I do like Bluegate, and that was one of the maps they released after launch. So it's not to say like to say that Embark has sort of like lost their sauce or can't figure out how to make a good map. But this map is going in the wrong direction. It's just not quite what I wanted it to be, and I think what people were expecting. So when you deliver this versus the expectations, you get an even bigger pushback, right? Because you're like, I was expecting this, and then you gave me that, which is not the worst map I've ever played, but also it's
fine. I don't want to come overly negative, because it's an okay map. And this once again gets down to, they did add in that cool turbine, and that thing is really neat.
I didn't see that yet because I played it.
Dude, that thing comes in like 15 minutes into the match, and the sound effect and the animation of it coming from orbit is slick. It's very cool. And its attack is literally lightning, which is super cool and unique, right? Like it's got some flavor to it. But what do you like? Why are we killing it? Like, why are we doing these things, right? Like there's not an end. There's no end game in this game. It's just like to do it for the sake of doing it. Like you have some tasks and stuff like that, which will require you to take it out. But then when you're done with those tasks, there's nothing, right? There's nothing beyond that.
Do we yet have a concrete story for Arc Raiders? As to like, because like I've skipped through a lot of the mission stuff, so I'm like, there's a good chance I missed the reason why we're doing all of this. But as far as I know, we're just fighting these Arc. We don't really know why, but
maybe the more recent, because I will admit there has been some quests I haven't done since they're newer, and I just haven't played as much. So maybe some of those quests delve into like the why, but. No, there is like when you go to Speranza, the main area. There's like an earthquake or something that just like, or like it sounds like a giant footstep, like a T-Rex's or something outside, and everything shakes. And I'm like, is that alluding to something? Did I miss something? Is there more to this? Is it really like basic? So maybe they have plans of something happening in the future.
Yeah. Now I believe the devs did say that multiple more maps were coming this year. And I think
that's good.
And I believe they said something about them being bigger. I'm getting it mixed up potentially with Battlefield information. I can't keep track of it in my head. I'm like, wait, which devs said more maps were coming and that they were bigger? But I think more and bigger maps are coming to Arc. And I think it's that their first maps and those big sprawling maps, especially Dam, like being such a great introductory to Arc Raiders, is this huge sprawling adventure, right? The map changes a lot depending on if you're in the swamp, you're on the dam, you're down in that weird lake region on the other side. Like there's kind of hilly areas with people scrapping up in the rocks and stuff. Like there's a lot of really cool, really different feeling stuff. And it takes a long time to get places. So you have to plan, right? You look at the map, you go, here's my mission, or here's where we heard gunfire, or here's what we're after as a party. What's going to be the best route to get there? And I love those circumstances where you're like sitting there for a second, you have to strategize. You go, why don't we go on top of the dam? Like that'll probably give us the clearest shot across. And I'm like, okay, but what's the threat? And you're like ascertaining threats and all that stuff. And that's great. And then the smaller maps, it's sort of just like, run in that direction, And then
it's chaos.
You get there. So I wanted another big one where we could have adventures.
That's fair.
Yeah. But, Arc Raiders has done such a good job in general that I'm still holding out hope for them to continue delivering excellent top tier content that I think we expect from the launch. And they did also allude to some significant skill tree changes that are coming. And that, I think that's one of the biggest critiques that we had of the game when it first launched, was that their skill tree sucks, where it's like, there's nothing you can do on the skill tree to make your experience wildly different from anybody else. So with them coming with some big skill tree updates down the road, that could be exciting. Like, especially if they take a bigger swing on that front and really let you differentiate how you play the game. That would be
cool. You're going to be stronger. You're going to be more powerful than the person who is a baby, right? Like, who's just who maybe just did the wipe and they've got nothing. And you should be like, come on, take some risks, get a little end game in there. Sure. I mean, I'm going to sound like a broken record. They need to have more an incentive to come back for end game. Like, I just think they knew. Yep.
I do like, though, so like with the vaporizers in and all that stuff, like there's some hard arc in this new map. Yeah. There's more incentive to use the bigger weapons now, because the small fries don't cut it.
For what purpose, though? Just to take them out?
Yeah, I get.
Exactly. We're getting to the crux of the issue. It's like, you can kill them, but like, why am I doing it? There's no point. I could just run away and then we're back to square one.
Yeah. So. I wonder if some sort of, ultimately it just comes down to like a farming game at the end, where you have to make them give you a resource that you absolutely want for the end game for whatever reason. So people are coming in to farm the big arc, which would be interesting.
It'd be cool if you took them out and it took a lot of resources. You could get some really cool super weapons that were the thing that I've said before is having your own playable space that you can customize. And I know that would take an incredible amount of effort, incredible amount of work to do so. But if you had a base that you could actually put things and you could have, cabinets and decorate it to your heart's content, and you had stuff that was really hard to unlock in there, that would give people something to do long term, and then they'd have something to show off to their friends.
Well, and I'll say this as an Unreal dev, and Arc Raiders is built in Unreal. That wouldn't be that hard. That really wouldn't be that hard to do. Like, they could probably prototype it in like a few weeks and then refine it over the course of a few months, and then get it out the door. So yeah, just throwing that out there. Really not that crazy.
Just throwing it out there, Arc Raiders. It'd be kind of cool to have a play space where you could because there's other games. God, what was it called? It was like that horror title wherever you would be in a lobby and then everyone had their own cells and you could customize your cell.
Yeah, the zombie one that you're talking about.
God, what was it called?
I thought you were talking about the city one where you go, the melee zombie one, where you go and you build your.
No, it's not that one. It's like a horror title.
Okay.
But it doesn't matter. But if you could, it would be so cool. Or this is going to sound even crazier. You can have different places. So you have Speranza. You can walk around in Speranza. Maybe there's like shops and stuff like that. And then there's could be like different places you could buy houses, and like those are more expensive, or they require certain things to like end game loot to be able to buy that house. And then you get that house, you can customize like that. How can I say house? Because they're all inside, right? Like an apartment, right? And there you go. Granted, once again, I realize that would take a lot of what I would assume a lot of effort, but
I don't think it'd be that crazy. But you remember the cycle? We're describing the cycle essentially, because that's exactly what you would do after you did a drop in the cycle. The cycle is like,
you came back to like a play space, yeah.
Yeah. It's almost exactly similar premise to Arc Raiders, except you drop from a spaceship down onto a planet, and then a storm comes and you have to extract before the storm finishes. But when you get back up to your orbiting spaceship or whatever, you can walk around to different vendors and you can upgrade those vendors and whatever and get different items from them. But you also have your little house, your little apartment on this ship, and you can upgrade that apartment, and that apartment will then give you some passive items, right? So you can, if you get wiped 3 times in a row, you go back to your apartment and you're like, okay, cool. At least I can get some good gear from here because I've upgraded my apartment enough. So it's sort of like your little passive income spot that keeps you getting decent gear to get back into the fight quicker, essentially.
Yeah.
I really like this cycle in a lot of ways. I feel like that game did so many things right, and that it just kind of missed a few core components and never never got off the ground enough to be a major competitor. Like they sort of they flip-flopped a lot on their design goals, and then the game,
for sure. That's for sure.
And the game became kind of this hodgepodge of ideas, and then they had some cheating problems and a bunch of other stuff, and they could never quite do it. But that game was full of great ideas that we're now seeing in so many other games. And it's like, that exactly what you're talking about, having that little house that you can upgrade and stuff, I think counts for a lot. Yeah. I want scrappy IRL. You know, I don't want I don't want a UI scrappy.
Everything's
I want to chase them around
right now.
Yeah.
And not saying get rid of the menus, because that makes it a lot faster and to get back into a raid. I'm not saying just can remove it, but it'd be cool to have something, because they're clearly not trying to make it where if you get to endgame, you dumpster on people that are new, right? They want to make sure that there is a relatively level playing field. But at some point, it's like you gotta kind of commit a little bit to have something to do for endgame. So either it's a cosmetic thing or it's activities. It's got to be something, and I feel like that's where they're falling short. Personally,
I agree. I think there's more that they could do there, and hopefully they're seeing the exact same things that we see and thinking about it. And I believe one of the devs did talk about doing a walkable Speranza like that.
I do remember them talking about that.
That was mentioned. So I don't know if they're pretty far along in that concept, or if they've done it and they decided it's not a good idea or whatever. But
yep.
I believe in them. What are your thoughts on so did you start a new paladin in Diablo 4?
No, I didn't. I actually went with the Warlock in Diablo.
Nice. How's the Warlock?
Very fun. Diablo 4, I think, is in a pretty good place right now. I played through the campaign. I thought the campaign for Lord of Hatred was much better than Vessel of Hatred. Vessel kind of felt like it was a stepping stone to get to where we are now. So I enjoyed the story. The build that I have right now on my Warlock is I basically just throw out. I become the raid boss, where I throw out basically a bunch of just minions that just fly around everywhere, dealing damage. And every time they hit something, it adds to my ultimate stack. And then my ultimate, once it hits 100 stacks, I throw out this fireball, and the entire screen erupts in flames. And it is so satisfying.
Nice.
So I'm just like throwing things everywhere. I can't even tell what the enemy's attacks are at this point. There's so many things on the screen because I've done it myself.
Yeah.
And then I just see it reach 100. I throw it out, and I'm like, you all die now. And that makes my monkey brain happy. So very, very, very fun in that regard.
Nice.
I did get to Paragon, so I got max level. Way easier now to get to max level, by the way. 70 is super simple. And I think I like that a lot more because you're like, okay, well now I can actually experience like what the game is, the end game, right? I can start getting the gear, and I can not have to worry about it's like, oh, well, I got this really cool legendary at 50, but I'm now level 60 and now it's worthless. It's like, no, just get to the part where it's like everything is around kind of the gear score you want,
That's sort of
right?
where the game begins for Diablo. Like it starts when you hit higher levels, right? Or the max level or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's where the meat and potatoes is, like the story's fun, but don't make me hang out in low levelville for too long,
Yeah. They've streamlined a lot. The gear is a lot more simpler to know, like, oh, because when the game first came out, boy, like good luck getting the gear pieces you wanted. They had so many stupid stats and things like that. Now it's a lot more simplistic in that regard. And they've got just a lot of different activities that you can partake in. They've got like the pit. I haven't really done any of this. I'm still like pretty new. But there's like the pit. There's the new one from Lord of Hatred. I can't remember what that one's called. You still have your Hell Tides. You can still run dungeons. And so there's a lot of things that you can do to just keep experiencing the fun of the game. But really, the whole point is to try to kill as many things as fast as possible. And then when you get enough gear, you go to the next difficulty, which I believe there's now 12 difficulties. So you can kind of like slowly ramp it up and up and up and up and up and up.
Cool.
I think there's like 12 torments or something. And yeah, it's fun. It's an ARPG. And I think a lot of people I've heard, and I've watched some YouTubers and some other streamers, and they seem like it's in a decent spot now. It's a good ARPG.
That's good. it was so interesting because I think I played a lot more Path of Exile 2 when that dropped than I did Diablo 4. Part of that was because when D4 first launched, it really didn't have a fun end game. So as soon as you got to end game, you're like, I don't like this at all. I'm going to put this down until they make this better. And Path of Exile had a lot more meat on its bones, I think, when it first dropped. Maybe.
Ironically.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right, because it did drop with not in a finished state. They were
it's still in early access.
Yeah. And they've added a whole bunch of stuff to it, but it's good to see D4 catch up because similarly, Path of Exile, I think, suffers from complexity problems where you're just like, there's too much junk in here. And ultimately, all I'm trying to do is synergize some sort of lightning build. And then like Diablo's like, we're not going to make it unnecessarily complicated for you. And we'll still give you a lot of depth, maybe not quite as much, but also not at the expense of your brain and your sanity.
Yeah. I mean, it's always tough, but one thing that they did with this update is they completely reworked the skill tree. So now instead of like, and there's some faults to it, but now when you choose a passive, it will like actually change the way the skill works. So if you have one skill that is one way, there'll be like kind of two basic ones, but it won't just straight be like, you got 5% more crit, right? It'll like do something substantial. Like it will like, hey, this is now going to regenerate more of your regen or your resource that you will then spend later on. And then if you get to the higher enough level for that skill, your tier 3 kind of one, it's kind of like an ultimate or legendary perk that will fundamentally change the way that it performs. Like you can make it a different kind of skill so it can synergize with another skill set. I know I'm not really describing this very well.
Yeah.
So you can take something that wasn't a Hellfire skill and all of a sudden now it's a Hellfire skill. So that normally that wouldn't have been useful or synergized.
You can get some crazy builds that you're like, whoa, like what if I did this? And it's like wacky stuff.
I was watching one guy, he was able to make lightning, just infinite lightning around him. And he was able to do that because of the skill tree. And I was like, that's really cool that he was able to figure that out. Right. And I don't know if the developers designed it that way intentionally, but it's like, there is some,
probably. I'll give them some credit. And then they're like, break the game. They have a QA team. And they're like, just break it. Like, just here's break it. Infinite skills and money. Come up with the craziest shit you can and go for it.
So it's definitely not as complex as Path of Exile. There's no question in that regard. But I do think that they've made a lot of great choices over the years. And once again, I just think it's in a pretty good spot. I'm not an expert in ARPGs. I enjoy them. I don't get to like the crazy end game, but I've definitely enjoyed my time, not only with the Paladin when I played that with the recent update where they gave it away for free or early when you pre-ordered, but also now with the Warlock. So yeah, it's been enjoyable.
Cool. I want to, the new Steam controllers are supposed to you're supposed to be able to run a couple off of the same little dongle now.
Okay.
I was like, that'd be cool if you could do split screen co-op on PC. Like, I don't know if that's available, but that'd be cool to play with, I don't know, I'm just thinking with my kid because we play Minecraft Dungeons a little bit and he likes that, but it's,
I don't know if we should be playing that game. I mean, unless you just don't watch the cutscenes or something. And
good point. You know what?
Diablo is Diablo 4 is not for children.
Fair enough. You know what's funny is this is like a common thing as a parent is you're like, I remember loving this movie when I was a kid, and then you put it on with them and then you're like exchanging glances like the parents are like, oh my god, this is so much more violent than I thought it was.
I don't remember this.
You're like, my god, the 80s were a different time,
The entire theme of Diablo is everyone's either possessed by a demon, sacrificing themselves to demons, or dying to demons. Right? It is. Yeah. It is definitely, and I like that they took that dark tone. Right? Like,
it's fun.
Yeah, it's
for sure a grimdark style game where you're just like, is anybody happy? Like, no. It seems like everybody's just like suffering.
Everyone's miserable.
To horrible hell gods that are roaming the earth.
Correct.
cool. And yeah, it's like, why are we even building cities? They all seem to just get like infested with demonic hordes, and then like everybody's eaten alive and dies a horrible death.
Yeah.
But then they have these magnificent cities. And you're like, all right, I guess.
How'd you manage this?
Yeah. Like this is a lot of like farming and like agriculture work. Only to be killed by demons, 20 years later or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, not a world. A world I'm glad is not real. Speaking of worlds I'm glad that are not real, I watched a movie, maybe you heard of it. It's called Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die.
Sounds familiar.
It's a weird movie. Like I heard a couple things about it and it was getting decent reviews.
I've seen clips of this. It looks bizarre.
It's very bizarre. AI, of course, is a big part of the narrative, but the premise is kind of like a Groundhog Day thing, except that it doesn't rewind a lot. It sort of takes you on one adventure of like, the premise is like they can rewind, but they're not. This is like their roguelite run, I guess. So the movie is about this one run. So the idea is this guy comes back to a diner from the future. So he comes back to present day. He's from the future. And he's like, in the future, like, AI has destroyed everything. Everything's crazy dystopian. We're being hunted by robots and the world is a disaster. But the good news is we can save it. And like, I need 7 people from this diner to come with me and save the world. And like, that's the premise of the film. And so, of course he assembles his crew or whatever and goes out, and then you're like learning backstory and stuff. And I thought it started off quite well. I won't spoil any of the movie stuff, but, it's one of those films where I feel like a lot of movies are doing this these days. And you could even argue that book series are doing it and TV shows are doing it, where when they get into the third act or the third season or the whatever, they just sort of don't know what to do with themselves. And I felt like this movie really had a hard time wrapping itself up. I was like really engaged in the first act. Second act, I was like, okay, let's see where this is going. Third act, I was like, this is just bananas. Like anything could happen at this point. And I've completely lost interest in the reality or the result of what happens to these characters, because the story has just gone so far off the rails.
It's really hard to nail a good premise like that. Like a premise can draw people in, but man, executing it can be really tough.
Yeah.
And many shows and movies, as you just said, struggle with that. Also, I think it's because human nature, we kind of get our own theories. Like even if it's subconscious, we were like, like subconsciously we think of like where the premise will lead to, and it doesn't go there. And so there's a little bit of a letdown when it doesn't actually deliver on this subconscious, level.
Yeah. For sure. This movie's very weird in that it's like extremely hyperbolic, where everything's an exaggeration of just how bad technology is. It's sort of like a tongue-in-cheek Black Mirror, if you will. Where, like, cell phones are obviously ruining our lives, but the way it's portrayed in the film, like people are completely addicted to it. Like they can't look away at any moment from their phones. And it's just sort of extra exaggerated and sort of funny in that way. But then they ramp it up so far at the end that it's not even representing. They're just like, oh, AI did this. And you're like, how? There's no physical explanation for how any of this is happening. They're just like, it's AI. It's sort of that like, when like a book series or a movie is like, I don't know, nanobots. And then you're just like, okay. When they like come up with some sort of tech that they don't really understand, they're like, I don't know, nanobots did it. And you're like, okay, I guess.
Yeah.
This sort of does a bit too much of that with AI.
Hand wavy.
Yeah, they're like, AI can basically do anything, right? And you're like, I don't know if it can do anything. It's not like a literal god,
It could become one.
Maybe. Anyway, it was
we'll
entertaining.
All be bowing down to the AI overlords.
I won't deny the film was very entertaining, but it was weird and campy at times and bizarre.
All right.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Now, I went to log in back into my F1 account to watch Formula One because the season
As you do.
restarted because they had a month off because of the war in the Middle East and they can't race over there, so they canceled those races.
Yeah.
So I get back on and my account doesn't work anymore. They partnered with Apple, man. The only way you can watch F1 now is if you have an Apple TV account. And I was like, you...
Did you have to pay a subscription before?
Yes. So basically my subscription increases a small amount and now I can watch Apple TV stuff and F1 stuff. So I'm like begrudgingly doing it. And now, of course, I'm watching Apple shows. So
yeah,
I started,
like Silo or Ted Lasso or any of the other great ones. You see, Ted Lasso's going to have a new season.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm excited. You know, the girl, is her name Carrie in the show? I'm trying to remember the girlfriend.
Oh, I'm so bad with names.
Yeah.
I know who you're talking about though. Yeah.
She's in the movie I just said, Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die.
Oh, okay.
She's one of the main characters in it. Yeah, so that's great. Ted Lasso's fantastic. Honestly, one of my favorite shows. And I've been enjoying season 3 of Shrinking, which is also fantastic.
Nice.
A general feel-good show, you know, which I would describe Ted Lasso as well. Just these shows that make you feel great. You're just like, I love this show. I love everything about it. One gripe that I have, and I'm always joking with my wife, and we're always like putting our hands up in Ted Lasso, or not Ted Lasso, in Shrinking, which is a show about basically just therapists, but kind of their lives outside of their therapy practice. And it's entertaining and it's well written and it's just kind of a people show. It's about people.
Yeah.
They all have so much free time to be there for each other all the time. We're just watching it and we're like, you know, as an example of like this is like somebody's like, I need to go pick out a suit. And like 4 people go with them. This is an adult man to like go pick out a suit. And like 4 people accompany this person to go buy a suit. And you're just like, how much time do all these people have on their hands where they're not only running entire lives and businesses and raising children and whatever, but then they're also like, hey, you want me to come with you and spend 3 hours picking out a suit in the middle of the day on any random, like I swear the whole show takes place on the weekend because like how on earth do these people
That's
have
how
time?
they do it. Yeah. What else are you going to do? Spend time with your homies. That's what.
I love the show. I wouldn't want them to change anything about it, but sometimes you're just watching it. You're like, where are all these people getting all this time? Everybody's just like, always available and always there for everybody, always. And it's just insane.
Yeah. Be nice if we lived in that world.
I wish, dude. It is sort of like, it's supposed to be reality. It's not like that it's a sci-fi universe, but you're watching it. You're like, it is kind of like sci-fi. Everybody's just always available all the time.
Yeah.
It's like we have jobs, but somehow those are always a distant second to like helping Matt pick out some shoes. You know, you're like, hey man,
hey man, if you want to pick out a suit, I'll be there.
Yeah, you're just like, I'm gonna get some running shoes, but I just can't. I don't know what kind to get. You know, I don't know if white's my color. Should I get a different color? Could you come with me and help me pick out some running shoes? I'm like, no problem, Matt. Hang on.
Absolutely.
Let me put everything down. For the next 2 hours, I'll meet you out at the mall. We'll go pick out some running shoes. I wish we lived in that reality, but we don't, you know.
We could make that reality.
I'm down.
Probably not.
Let's do that. Can do it. Come on. I mean, it's the future. You could move, Matt. You could move just up to where I am. You could be my neighbor.
Could. Apparently I live underneath your stairs, like a Harry Potter or something.
Harry Potter. I'm reading Harry Potter with my son. It's
nice.
Yeah, it's fun.
That's cool.
Finally getting to the point where the books that I'm reading with him are like entertaining for me also.
Yeah. Dude, that's sick though, because I remember my dad reading that book to me when I was young. So
that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really fun because he's hanging on every word, you know, when the story gets tense and stuff. And we're like, what's gonna happen? It's funny too, because my daughter's 2 years younger, so we're still kind of reading some like unicorn dragon books. And like Natalie and I are like Rochambeauing for who gets to read Harry Potter.
Harry
like,
Potter.
Come on, I want to read Harry Potter tonight. I'm like, oh, I don't want to read the dragon book. Oh, okay, fine. It's funny.
But
though.
you do it anyways.
Of course we do, you know. But eventually the book quality will upgrade, and then we'll be entertained as well.
That's cool though.
Yeah. Our so some of the other games coming out this month, we got Forza 6.
Hell yeah.
Yep. I know you're looking forward to that. We got Yoshi and the Mysterious Box. That's it. Mysterious Box.
Oh baby, can't wait.
I don't know. It's a Nintendo game though, so I'm sure it's going to be fantastic, right?
Probably.
Everybody's going to be talking about it in like a week. And be like, have you played the Mysterious Box yet? It's amazing.
I haven't even heard of it, if I'm honest.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't pay much attention to the Mario
with Nintendo, though.
sphere that much. Zelda's kind of the only game I show up for them.
Yeah.
Mario Party's not bad, but I'll play it with the kids sometimes. I will say, though, I get frustrated by Mario Party because they have such a preamble to starting a freaking game in that, where it's like, assemble the whole team together, pick the type of mode that you're going to be into, and then pick your island, and then pick your mini map. And it's just like this whole process. I'm like, can we just, it's been 10 minutes.
Get in the game.
It's been 10 minutes. Nobody's playing. Let's get in a mini game, you know? I've got too much ADHD for Mario Party, apparently. Yeah.
You got that brain rot.
Yeah. For sure, dude. I know. I hope our kids and the next generation of people sees how addicted everybody is to the internet and social media, and like can just rebel against it. People are starting
to some extent go more offline with, like, when they buy a phone, it's just like a flip phone. It's not like a smartphone.
Yeah. I don't even know how I'd live my life without one right now. Like, it's just, maybe you can do it if you don't have too many responsibilities, or you don't have like a demanding job that requires that you be logged into all kinds of accounts and apps and whatever. But yeah, I just don't know how. I don't know how anybody would do it nowadays.
It's tough.
Yeah. 007 First Light coming out at the end of the month.
And it's also very exciting. And previews of it apparently are making it look pretty good. I don't think it's going to be like a Hitman game. There's certain people are like, no, it's not really Hitman, but it's got some cool sauce.
That would not quite be the exact right vibe for 007.
Yeah. It wouldn't be. He's not a hitman. He's a spy.
International man of mystery.
Yes. I don't know if we talked about this before. I do love the idea that you're going to be able to use his charisma to get out of situations where you like round the corner and you're like, hey guys, I heard the toilet's clogged. Who was it? Who was it, fellas? And then they'll be like, oh yeah, it's just over there. And I think that's great. I think that's so cool.
I like what your interpretation of charisma. Is this your RPG character build? You're like, he's got tons of charisma. He can charm people about clogged toilets.
Toilet talk.
Yeah. Oh man, that's really funny. I'm looking forward to that one. I think the studio behind it too has got their chops down. I saw them. They did a presentation that I saw at GDC this year where they were showing off their behind the scenes tech, and I was like, these guys know what's up. Like, they're freaking smart.
Nice.
It's cool to talk to people in development who just know so much more about game development than you, and you're like trying to keep pace with them. You're like, dang, these guys are like operating on, they know shader code and all this stuff on a level that is just so much further than, I was asking them really detailed questions, and they're like, yeah, so we wouldn't do it that way because, and then like give me a 10x detailed answer. And I was like, oh my God, these guys are geniuses. Like, you're
but a small baby compared to their genius.
Basically, and they kind of sounded like that because a lot of them were Swedish.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, so I'm excited for that one. That'll be cool. Also, like, I mean, come on, it's 007.
Yeah. I also like the actor. I think the actor is cool.
I forgot who he is, but
I don't know his name. I just think he's cool.
Is he the official movie actor or just the game actor?
I don't think he's the movie actor. No, he's just for the game.
Okay. Yeah. People don't know that, like, GoldenEye was an era for gamers. Like, it was the game that everybody played all the time. It was sort of pre-Halo in a way, right? Mm-hmm. It was like before Halo exploded and made FPS massive on console. It was 007 GoldenEye on the N64. Such a weird with that janky controller. Do you remember it, Matt?
Oh, of course.
I challenge anyone to go back and play GoldenEye on that N64 controller, and you'll just be like, how on earth did we think this was a good control scheme? It's like pre-dual analog input for FPSs, and I think most of the game is played where, like, if you want to look up and down, you've got to, like, reach over somewhere else.
You have to hold down a button.
Yeah, you have to, like, take your hand off of your movement or your look or something. I don't even remember. I just remember that you had to, like,
so you wouldn't be able to move around anymore. You had to literally stand still, hold a button, and then the movement button, the movement joystick became the aim joystick to be able to aim properly. Oh, it was real bad. Yeah, it was bad.
Pure insanity by today's standards.
That's why the Xbox, when they came out with Halo and everything, revolutionized.
Oh yeah,
the industry.
Yeah, they're like, 100%. Whoa, I can just move and aim simultaneously on the consoles, and they've like auto aim the crap out of it so we can hit stuff. The auto aim in Halo was so intense. I remember that. Do you remember the pistol? Which was like the best gun in the game, basically. Yep. You could just you're headshotting people, and I'm like, my circle's not even close to their head, and it's like headshot. I'm like, that's headshot. Right. I freaking hit you in the head, dude.
Yeah, Warsong Gulch, the greatest. Was it Warsong Gulch or was that World of Warcraft? I can't remember.
Blood Gulch in Halo.
Blood Gulch, was that it?
Yeah.
Something Gulch.
Warsong sounds a little more Warcrafty or something.
Yeah, I think that might be WoW.
Too many Gulches in gaming.
Too many.
I'm gonna add a Gulch to my game
you should.
Just to do it.
Definitely should.
There's Gulches in space, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Space Gulch. It's such a weird word, Gulch.
It's a bit of a weird one.
Yeah. I think we should wrap up the podcast on Gulch, I
think we should.
Yeah. Well, everybody, thank you so much for dropping by the Level With Me podcast. We appreciate y'all so much. We record on Mondays, and if you're a Patreon member, you can come join us live for the recording and come hang out after the recording where we talk about crazy stuff, our favorite games, people that Matt's dating, all kinds of fun stuff. If you want the details, you got to show up, But otherwise, Matt's going to leave you with some extremely useful advice. Take it away, Matt.
My extreme useful advice is if you are struggling in Saros because you're getting dunked on by a boss, go back to a previous level, go kill everything in there, kill that boss, and then go to the next area, and then you're going to be way more powerful. And now all of a sudden, it's a cheat code. Easy wins. Just don't die, because then you're going to have to start over again.
And it only takes 40 minutes, right?
And it only takes 40 minutes.
Easy. Easy. Well, as long as it's fun, then it doesn't take any time at all, right?
Yeah, and it is fun. It's a fun game.
Cool. Well, thank you, Matt. And thank you, everybody, for joining us. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Take care.